how to set up a class, assignment, and upload papers to Turnitin. Okay, so if you've set up your Turnitin account, you can log in with the password that you created. If you don't have an account yet, make sure to get in touch and I'll create one for you. Okay, so if this is your first time using it, you won't have any classes. If your page looks different, make sure that you are rolled in as the instructor. You might see student here instead, and then you just want to go and swap it to instructor instead of it being on student. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is add a class, and you just click on this green button here. And we want to leave the class type as standard. And you can call your class name anything. I'm going to call this one dissertations. For the enrollment key, I just always put in 5 zeros. Now the enrollment key is for if you want to create a class where students upload on their own. But we recommend that you use the Turnitin integration in a tutor for that, using assignments rather than doing it in browser. But you are welcome to explore that if you like. In the subject area, just choose something that is applicable to your field. And under student level, select postgraduate. For the class end date, you can leave it on the date that's by default a year from when you created. But then remember that in a year, if you want to still use the same class, you'll just have to come and edit that to another year later. Okay, when you're done with that, you can just hit submit. Now you only need to do this once, so you won't have to follow these steps again. We can continue. Now we're going to create an assignment within our class. I'm going to show you how to create 2, and this is the way I like doing it, but you can kind of feel it out if it's the same for you. So I'm going to create 2 assignments. The first one I'm going to call my finals. You can skip the assignment instructions if this is going to be a space that you use to upload your students' work individually. If you're going to be using this space where students are going to upload, you're welcome to put in some instructions. Now for your finals, you want to make sure that it is going to submit papers to the repository. So your finals are when your students are done with all of their edits, it's been language edited, everything like that, and you want to upload it so the paper is secured in the Turnitin repository, which protects it from future plagiarism. Okay. Under the optional settings, you can leave the 2 first boxes checked, and you want to check these 3 boxes. So if you want to allow your students to view the similarity report, you can leave that unchecked if you're not going to have students upload, but you definitely want to check exclude bibliographic materials and exclude quoted materials. Now, small sources depend on the rules of your department or the journal or whoever you are going to submit this paper to. So I normally leave this unchecked. You can check this later in the studio feedback if you want to. Compare against, we want to leave all of those boxes checked because we want to compare it against as many papers as we possibly can. We're not going to upload a template today and we're just going to submit. Our first assignment has been created. Now you can move back to your dissertations class. And we're going to create another assignment. And we're going to call this one drafts. So this is the assignment we'll be using when our students are still working on their papers. We might be uploading this again later and we don't want it to compare to itself. So this time we want it to be on do not store the submitted papers. Again, under your optional settings, the same as previously. You can uncheck that one. You can just check the exclude bibliographic and exclude quoted. Make sure all 3 of these are checked and then submit. Okay, so these are the 2 assignments that you're going to be using most often. The drafts while your students are still working on them, the finals when you are done working and you want to upload it to be saved into the repository. So let's upload a paper. Before we can upload a paper, we still first need to add some students to our class. So I'm going to do that now by going to students. And you can upload them every time you have a new student, or you can upload them all at once. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to click here, add student. I'm going to input my own details and submit. Now I have a student on my list. Now we can go back to assignments. And I'm going to go to drafts and upload something. So here we go to more actions, submit. In the drop-down folder, I'll see myself as a student, and this list will get longer as you add students. And every time you add a student, you can only upload once for them. If you want to upload again under this assignment, you need to go and delete the previous one to be able to do that. Or you can create another assignment space if you want to be able to upload more than once for each student. Then we're going to input the submission title. This is going to appear on the cover page of the report, so it's important to put in the correct submission title. Don't put anything in like chapter 1 or something like that, because that might be confusing to a journal. Put in the correct title if you can. Then scroll down and choose from your computer. You can also get from your Dropbox or Google Drive. Go and find the paper that you are uploading, open, and then upload. This is going to take a minute. When your paper has uploaded, it will show you a preview of the paper cover page. If you are happy, you can just click confirm. And your paper is uploaded and is going through the database. This can take a couple of minutes depending on the size of the document. A PhD dissertation might take up to an hour, an article might take up to 5 minutes, but you can go to your assignment inbox and just keep refreshing until your paper is done. So you can see now here that my paper is done, and I've got a 97% similarity, and that's because I've already uploaded this paper to a final repository. So don't worry, it's not plagiarized. And you can see that no one's viewed it yet. Here is the original paper. If I want to go and see the originality document, I just click on this 97% here, or whatever percentage yours is come up as. And this is the Feedback Studio. It will open up as a new window. And you'll see here that you can go through and find the sources. Now, in this case, where I have a source that is not plagiarism, this is my own paper, I can go and exclude it and check all the boxes of all the papers. You can see that these are all belonging to me, and then exclude them. So there's too many now to exclude, so I'm just going to exclude a couple so you can see what it's like, and then bring it down. So you can also come back to the filters, and remember when we said you don't have to exclude the size in the settings, you can come and do it here. You can also uncheck the quotes and bibliography boxes if you want, but you can now say, for instance, that I want to exclude any paper that is smaller than 1% and apply the changes afterwards. All right. You can also access your AI report here. So the AI report will open in a new tab, and it's a separate report. And this report can also be downloaded. And you'll see that it checks for generated AI as well as paraphrased AI. Paraphrased AI is something like Grammarly that helps you with language. Generation AI is something like DeepSeek or ChatGPT, meaning that the content was generated by an AI. I'm going to go back to Feedback Studio. You can download your report here with this little download button. And you want to say current view for the report that has the highlights and the percentages on it. Digital receipt is to give someone access to the settings. Some journals might ask for that. And then you can also download the original PDF or Word document that you uploaded. And that's it.